Well, hi, friends, and welcome to We're All Fine. This is your host, Holly, and with me is my ever beautiful, lovely, and engaging co-host, Carly. Hi, Carly.
Stop it, Holly. Hello, everyone.
Well, guys, we've been thinking this is a really kind of tough world to be in by yourself. So we know a lot of people are thinking, how can I find a person? My penguin. How can I find that person without having to go on Tinder? I want to find a person without getting dick pics. And I think it's a pretty universal question.
I think it is a pretty universal question. And there's nothing wrong with dick pics. There's nothing as long as it's consensual. Don't fuck my phone without permission. Because that's basically what an unsolicited dick pic is. Don't do that. Now I have to delete it.
God, I've never thought of it that way, but now I won't be able to think about it any other way.
Aziz Ansari said it first, and I was like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is. So, but I got lucky how I met mine. Thank goodness, because I was too afraid. I had a Tinder and I would match with people, but I never responded to a single message because I thought I was going to be made into a human couch or a lamp.
Well, that's fair. And I think that's totally a realistic fear.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But if I was a dude and if I was gay, I'd be on Grindr every 5 minutes. I would just want to know who thought I was cute in my area. I would love it.
I would also tell you, it doesn't matter if you're a dude or not. The fear of being turned into a couch is real, I think, for everybody.
It should be.
Yeah, no. So we thought, okay, if we're not using the apps, if we're not doing the standard way of meeting someone, maybe we need to look at alternative methods of meeting people. Maybe we need to rely on these crazy meet cutes, these really bizarre just moments of fate that bring us with our people, even if they're real wackadoo. Because maybe that's how love really starts. So I'm so excited because today we have two beautiful, amazing guests with us, Jessie and Amber Davis. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi.
So we brought you on because I've gotten to hear over the last few years some interesting stories about how you guys met your hubbies, which is fun because their hubbies are brothers. So these two are sisters-in-law. And what's really funny, I find kind of entertaining, is that the two of you have, physically, you guys have so much in common. It just cracks me up to see that these brothers, they have a type. Yeah.
They sure do.
Yeah, hubbies.
Mm-hmm. Small.
And you both have beautiful families. And how long have you guys been with the hubs?
Married or just together?
Yeah, all the above. Give us the whole timeline.
We've been together almost 11 years now, and we've been married since 2019. So 5 years, going on 6.
Wow, nice. Okay, Amber, how about you?
Dustin and we met back in 2014 when we met, but we started dating in 2015. So we've been together 10 years and then married since 2017.
So however you guys met your guys, however that happened, it must be successful because, you guys have been together for a while.
That's longevity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Many years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's get to it. I don't know who wants to go first, who wants to share their beautiful Hallmark story of how they met the love of their life.
Well, Jess, you go first. You guys started first. I came in after you guys were dating.
Well, goodness. So when Ty and I met, I had worked at Twin Peaks, and I worked off the location near Centennial. And
Jessie, can you break down for people who've never been there? What is Twin Peaks? What
it's
kind
a
of restaurant is that? I'm sorry, say that one more time.
It's a restaurant. You got
you got
the nice boobs, all that good stuff. But yeah, I used to work at Twin Peaks, and I was a key holder for them at the time. And so sometimes I would work on the floor, but most of my job I was in normal management kind of clothes. And I was just working on a normal day, and Ty was there with his buddies. They called it Twin Peaks Tuesdays. And they were all there after work, just having a grand old time. And
I feel like Tits Tuesday would be better or something like that.
that really probably would have been better.
My God, Amber, where were you on that one? I missed out on a whole Tits Tuesdays. All right, so
Twin
so you're
Peaks
happy there
Tuesdays.
on Tits Tuesdays. Go on.
Yeah, on Tits Tuesdays, so Ty's there. All goes together, the 3 T's. And and he called me over to his table with his buddies, and he was definitely under the influence at the time. And he asked me for my phone number, and I told him no. And at the time when I told him no, I did have a boyfriend, and this was not a good relationship. This is a guy that I had been wanting to get out of this relationship for a long time up until this point. And I told Ty no. And I said that if he wanted, he could find me on Facebook, and gave him my name. And then kind of went on my little work way, because there's this guy over here. He's cute, but, I'm in a relationship. And at the same time, I just don't give my number out ever, especially in that environment. And so, yeah. And
why? I don't
know
understand.
why, but it just doesn't work so well. And Ty kept coming back, and they would come back usually Twin Peaks Tuesdays, but he came back multiple times in there, more than once a week, let's say. And every time that he was there, he would make it known that he was there. One time I was changing the TVs, and he just walked by, and he's like, "You look beautiful today." And just like little remarks here and there. Every time he was there, he made it known, kind of thing. But never found me on Facebook, didn't even really use Facebook. I want to say it was probably a few weeks in, and I ended up finding him on Facebook because he had sparked my attention.
Wow. I was playing the long game.
Yeah, he was playing the long game. And so I found him, and he just happened to, he never goes on Facebook. Anyone who knows him knows he does not use Facebook. He just happened to go on Facebook the same day I added him. And he added me, and he asked me to go bowling that night. And
sexy. I like it.
So that morning I broke up with my boyfriend officially, and that night we went bowling.
Well, you're efficient. I like it. I like
decision made.
Decision made. Done.
Wow. So I have a couple questions. When he first called you over to get your number, were you in your key holder outfit, or were you in your Twin Peaks outfit?
I was in my key holder outfit.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons that he says I sparked his attention, is because I was fully dressed at the time. So he likes a challenge.
I love that. I've never been to Twin Peaks. What is the normal? Because I know Hooters. I know a lot of what I didn't know this was a term, but now it's my favorite restaurant. I love that. That is so good. It just makes it sound yummy and playful, and I like it.
And so we called ourselves a restaurant, and
I love that.
It was little khaki shorts at the time. They've since changed their outfits, but it's little khaki shorts, and then it was this lumberjack tie on top kind of thing. So your midsection is showing,
like a crop top.
Yeah, like a crop top. Yeah, exactly. And then of course, I'm pretty sure it's still a requirement, but you're hired on as models and actresses for the company. Mm-hmm. And so hair, makeup, fitness, tan, all of those are part of it. So yeah, you definitely have to get all gussied up.
Right.
I hope you made some good tips there, right? Is that a place you do pretty well at?
Yes, it's definitely a place you do really well at. And I mean, it really was, we called ourselves the Sisterhood of the Plaid. And it really was a really great work environment as a whole. I mean, I love all the girls I worked with. I got to end up opening, I think, 13 locations for them. And it was just a really, really cool job experience to have. And I learned a lot through them. They're really what got me where I was going. So I don't have a lot of negative to say about Twin Peaks at all. So
no, and we would never want you to. It sounds like you were able to have really good friendships. You were able to find success. and a good partner, get out of here. Like, that's
Check, check.
amazing. And that somehow they made khaki shorts sexy. I didn't ever think that that was something I would hear. Like denim, yeah, sure, plaid, okay.
Yeah.
But khakis, like, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
They did a good job. I mean, it was a good experience. I was with them for, gosh, I want to say probably 5 years or so, and
Wow.
it was fun.
Jesse, at what point did your mind switch from like, this guy is just being a flirt to, I think this guy is actually serious?
How many
You
visits
know-
in?
Yeah.
I don't know how many visits in it was. I want to say it was probably like 3 visits in when he made that comment when I was at the TVs. And that's where he really sparked my attention. And it was just like, okay, he might actually be serious in pursuing something here. And I remember on his birthday, he came in with his buddies, and I sat with them at their table almost the whole time that they were there. I mean, we were encouraged to sit with our guests. And so it wasn't like, oh, she's sitting at that table over there. We had to, of course, evenly disperse our time with the guests kind of thing. But I sat with them a majority of his birthday that year and just hung out with them at the table. And I was a trainer, so I had a trainee with me, and we were going through quizzes and stuff and helping her learn. And yeah, I think that really the TV comment is where he initially sparked my attention back. So
Oh. Now, when you were first like telling like your family or like your folks of like, hey, I want you to meet this guy I'm dating. Where did we meet? Well, let me tell you. How did that go over?
it actually didn't go over bad. I mean, my friends and family, most of my friends were there with me, but my family knew where I worked. They never were down about where I worked. They knew I was successful with where I was at, kind of thing. And I got a lot of amazing experiences. I got to travel around the country, and I never got crap from my family for working there ever. They were very supportive. And so hearing that I had met somebody there, nobody really blinked an eye, and everybody knew that the ex was bad news. So it was just kind of like okay, cool. She's finally moving on and like doing more with her life here. So yeah. Nobody blinked an eye.
Oh,
So
that's
this
so
is
good.
one of those great examples of like, on the surface level, the story on that is you go, oh man, I don't know. Like if somebody was like, hey, seriously, this could work. Meet a guy at this restaurant. Like it'll last forever. I can't imagine people being like,
Done deal.
yeah, sounds
True.
great. That sounds
Done deal. Sounds
like,
great.
go a little bit deeper, and it's like, it's really lovely. It's just, it was like meeting somebody in a place that your friends were, you were comfortable, you were successful, and he was extremely respectful to you, like all the way through, which I sort of love.
Yeah, I know multiple of the girls when we were working there after Ty and I did start dating, they would always give me comments like, you're glowing. You look happy for the first time. Like just that kind of thing. I did have one friend, I love her. I had one friend say, you might want to watch out for that one. Because he's a party boy. He is. Down deep down, he's a party boy still to this day. And I had one friend say, hey, just don't let yourself get hurt kind of thing. But, she ended up being one of our bridesmaids at our wedding. So I love her. And she just didn't want to see me get hurt. But
Yeah,
I
she was
think
having your
that's
back.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think you already kind of knew that was coming. Like anybody who comes in for like, Twin Peaks Tuesdays is not probably going to be like a homebody.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
yeah, like this guy
Yeah.
likes to have fun. I love that. So, Amber, was it like a different restaurant?
Yes, very different actually. I worked in dental before, for many, many years. I started off as a dental assistant and then worked my way up to the front office and management and, supreme management. Sounds like Star Wars, but they bring in managers to do training, or they bring on trainers or bring the managers on and start training them. And I had already been in for 2 years at that time, and Dustin just started, and he was in the specialty part of his training for the specialty services in dental. And that's where I was. I was coordinating for 3 different dental offices for 17 different specialists.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, I'm here to learn from you. And what do you mean? I'm like, I'm busy. But he remembers being introduced to me and me just popping my head around the corner. Hi, I'm Amber. I'm stressed.
Sexy. So
but
sexy.
he didn't remember the stress part. He just remembers me popping my head around the corner and being, hi, I'm Amber. And I remember a very tall person coming by the ceiling almost, saying hi. So that was it.
Okay. So did you guys just start dating right away? Like,
No, good point. So what was funny, so he was going through that management training. He was there for like a week. So we spent a little bit of time together, and then they get placed into an office as the manager for several months. He actually got placed in my office. Yeah. So that's where we get into the whole, oh, he was your boss kind of comment. But we were both dating other people while we were in the same office. I had my own boyfriend. He had his own girlfriends, plural, several.
these brothers.
So, you have no idea. And it was very entertaining. I remember one time I met one of his girlfriends at the gym, and she was a 6-foot tall girlfriend. So you think they all have
Whoa.
a type. He ventured out on this one.
Yeah.
It was like the Twin Towers coming at me. It
Whoa.
was insane. They were so tall. But we just started talking as friends and hung out outside of work as friends. We became very close. I'd even met Ty at some event at his mom's house. So like I knew the family. And
this was still you guys just chatting it up as friends.
Yep, just chatting it up as friends. And then I again worked my way up, and so the company was ready to give me my own office. So I was going to be a manager in Lakewood. And they moved me out of the office, and then I was gone for, I think it was a week or so. And then Dustin texted me and he was like, I really miss my work wife. I didn't realize you were my work wife, but I miss you.
Aww.
And he had been dating someone during like the last part of me being at that office. And she just had it out for me. She just kept saying like, you like Amber, you like Amber, you like Amber, 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 Amber. And I had no qualms with her. And Dustin, honestly, you know, I don't think men know that they like something until it's like hit in their face, you know?
But also, we can sense it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Women know.
Women know.
Yeah,
Women
like,
know.
we're
Yeah.
friends now, Amber. So like
Right.
she's a mean person and I'm
No,
mad at her.
I
But at the
felt
same
bad
time,
because
like
I knew, I understand, but I was like, but like true and honest, like both of us were like,
right, there's
also
nothing here.
you don't shit where you eat either. We were working in the same office. I had 2 daughters that I had to take care of and, you know, manage that. I wasn't trying to risk anything with that.
Yeah.
So until I was out of my own office, was that even conversation broached? Like one time my phone had been left up and Tinder was on there and he swiped right on all of them for me. And that was like the most like closest thing to like flirting that I saw. You know what I mean?
Which is like the opposite of flirting too.
Right?
That he was like, I'll
Right?
get you anybody. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No, I
Like,
know. That's what I told him. I was like, how is that you like playing defense? If anything, that was like offense.
he should have gone left. Like,
Right? So yeah. And then we started
Okay.
dating.
So you guys, once you were like both out of the office and then decided to like connect, did you have any other complications work-wise that got in the middle of that?
No. I mean, we were kind of hush-hush about it at first because, again, you don't shit where you eat. And we didn't want, if anything did go sour, to ruin anything because we did have a good work relationship, friendship, and, you know, onto this. But no, work was not a problem.
So,
anything.
I mean, now we've heard the whole story, but if you're giving like a quick, oh, hey guys, nice to meet you. How did you meet? What's your like quick one without it being like, oh, he is my boss? Like, how? Just at work?
Yep, at work.
yeah,
That's
good
nice.
for you.
Yeah. Because we met at work. I mean, he started a new job. I was already there. I like to say that he met me. I was his trainer. Okay. That's what I tell him.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then he'll spin and be like, actually, I was her boss for.
Oh, see, but like depending on who's saying it, goes a totally different direction.
Totally.
I feel like
Totally.
in every Skinamax movie ever. Like, if you're his trainer,
Yes.
I'm like, that's just like a whole different dynamic
Mhm.
in that relationship. And he's like, no, I was her boss. Oh,
Mhm.
now totally
Yeah.
fun dynamic in the other
Actually,
direction.
that might be just how our relationship is. I'm over here. I'm your trainer. I'm your boss. I'm your trainer.
At the time that you guys met these guys, were the two of you, I know you said you were in relationships, but it doesn't sound like they were particularly strong relationships at the time. Would you say that you were like these guys, like even on your radar before they were officially on your radar?
For me, I was not looking whatsoever. Like, even for a boyfriend, again, I had my twin daughters that I was just trying to survive with. And I was having fun dating. I was, you know, again, single mom. You're going to take me to dinner? Okay. Okay. Sold. Tuesday? Okay. I need Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday figured out.
I would agree. I wasn't looking at all. I mean, I knew I wanted out of this relationship over here, but I wasn't looking for a new one. I was just trying to be alone, I think. And he definitely hit my radar, and it made it easier to get out of the last one. And
That's how they
so,
get you. I was ready. I had told all my friends and family that I was ready to just live my hoary days, glory days. Like, I didn't
Right.
want a relationship. I didn't want any of that. I was like, I've got my kid. I was a single mama too. I was working 2, 3 jobs, and I was like, no, I'll just get laid and get dinner, and that's great. And that was
it'll be
where I was.
fine.
Yeah, like, I don't need companionship. And then all of a sudden, I was wifed up within a year. That's what happens, when you're not looking. They're like
Yeah.
ladybugs. They
Or
just
you say you
Hey.
don't want it. You're like, no. Like, if you say it out loud to the universe, I don't want anything. They're like, sure, here you go.
Yep.
here's
Yeah.
this man that you
Here's this
like too
man
much to
right
get rid
now.
of.
Yeah.
And Carly, you didn't meet Justin over Tinder or anything
Mm-mm.
like that.
No, we actually met at the theater, which is it's so strange. Okay, so I am a very left, spiritual, vegetarian, feminist, raised by the gays. And he was working for the rodeo, PRCA, meat and potatoes, Irish Catholic. Like, if there were two polar opposites ever in the world, it was us. And he was doing theater. He was on stage. I was behind the scenes. So even in like the common interest we had, we couldn't have been more different. And I was outside with friends, and all of a sudden, I shit you not, like something like pierced my eye, like a reflection. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is that? And it was the sun as he was walking towards me, hitting his rodeo belt buckle, like in my eye. And I was like, oh, God. And you don't see a lot of rodeo belt buckles and pearl snaps at the theater. And so I was like, who is this like redneck piece of shit? Like, what are we doing? Who is this person? And from his perspective, after we had actually started talking as human beings, what he saw was this girl with no shoes or socks on, just bare feet outside with hair like this, covered in paint and sawdust, in a dirty Led Zeppelin t-shirt, just sitting there like ranting about, some sort of something. And he was like, who is this like hippie nonsensical bitch? Like, who is this? Like, what is this person? And so we had nothing in common. The first thing we ever said to each other, we were at a after party for one of the shows. And my friends were sitting here, and Justin was on this couch, but I wasn't really paying attention to him. So I sat down, and all of a sudden I hear this person say, excuse me, that seat's actually taken. And Justin was known to have a lot of twits, as I called them, which isn't against them. But he
Oh,
Got it.
girls.
Yeah, he just had like a lot of very pretty girls that were very friendly that I assumed he was sleeping with, because he's a really cute guy. But come to find out, he was just like always friends with them. So I feel bad now for being like, ugh, what a slut, But he wasn't. He wasn't. He was just a sweet guy that women like to be around. And so I thought he was like telling me to move for one of his ladies. So he was like, that suit's taken. And I looked at him and I was like, is it? And then I turned back to my conversation and kept talking. So how we ever had a conversation after that, I have no idea. But then we had another after party. We had hung out a couple times socially. But we had another after party. And one of my fears when I was a partier was that I was going to be the drunkest girl at the party. Like, I never wanted to be the mess, because I was always the one like cleaning up the vomit. Like, no, you're okay. You still look pretty, Brittany. Like, don't worry. Like, we still love you. But that was the night that I found pickleback shots, which, whew,
Why am I the only one who didn't know what a pickleback shot is? Like,
I didn't
Jesse and Amber are just nodding their heads like, yeah. And I'm like,
yeah, not good.
A pickleback.
I'm all for it.
Oh my God,
pickles.
yeah. A pickleback is literally you take a shot of whatever liquor straight and then you take pickle juice afterwards. And here's the thing. The brine and the bitter of that cuts through the burn of the liquor instantly. And I love pickles. So I did about far too many. And stood up.
The thought of that makes me want to vomit. Like, literally
it was
just
so good.
thinking about it.
I had to have done like 8 straight to the face. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, these are delicious. Like, you would have just thought that I was eating Skittles. And all of a sudden, here was this like beautiful, sweet man as I'm stumbling to go outside or to pee, just giving me his arm because I can't stand. I'm a mess. And I'm like, am I the drunkest girl at the party? And like telling him my deepest social fear without him even realizing it. And he'd be like, no, that they're all drunker than you are, which was a lie. I threw up and like was laying on the bathroom floor at the theater, and he just stood outside of the bathroom waiting for me to make sure I got okay, like home okay, and all of this stuff. And so we became best friends. And then he would come over to my house like 3 nights a week because I was a single mom. I couldn't go out. I had no money. I never had babysitters. So he would bring over a pack of firewood and like a 6-pack. And we would sit in my backyard after my baby fell asleep, and we would just sit by the fire and talk until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And then we got together in January of 2020. We were engaged by March. We bought our house in June of that year, and we like haven't looked back. So 2 totally polar opposite people that should have never made sense. And we like made it work. Like, I knew girls that he was sleeping with that would be like, oh my God, he's so great. And I'd be like, I'm talking a lot, but this one's really funny because I never thought we would ever be a couple. I was like, he's my friend. Like, he's my friend. Like, our votes politically cancel each other out. This is going nowhere. And so, but there was this girl in the theater that was really cute. She was like a cooler version of me, red hair, beautiful body, like hilarious, just wonderful. And she was like, I think I'm going to ask Justin on a date, because him and I were really close friends at this point. And I was like, do not do that. He is emotionally unavailable. Like, you deserve the world. And I was not like, hand on my child. I was not trying to get her to not do that. I thought he was like bad news bears for her because she was sweet and younger. And I was like, don't. Like, you deserve a guy who's going to treat you so good. And you deserve a guy who's going to be able to, like, give you emotional intelligence.
Oh my God,
and
Carly, you're a monster.
I know. Like, 2 weeks later, him and I banged for the first time, and then we never stopped. Like, that poor girl has to, like, think that I was, like, a piece of shit. But I really was trying to protect her. And I just wanted my friend to not, like, hurt a sweet girl's heart. So,
my God.
You know who you are if you're listening to this. I really didn't mean it. I didn't know I liked him. So yeah.
What I find interesting is in all of these stories, like these, like none of you guys were looking. None of you guys, like, you all had like mildly, I don't want to say embarrassing, but I would definitely say like wouldn't normally be like in a Hallmark film. And I know that because I have a really unreasonable addiction to Hallmark movies. Like, I live for them. I used to have like the Hallmark on the Go app, so I could just, because it's like 92 minutes, the entire thing. And that's if you watch the credits, and the formula is always the same. Like, it's so easy. Like, I was just like, oh, something that I can rely on. Like, it was so nice. But like, so Jesse, your location, it was very like untraditional, and you straight turned him down. And then Amber, the thing that he remembers about you is being like, hi, I'm Amber, I'm so stressed. Like, that
was probably me saying that, But he just remember when he says it, he just says, I remember you popping your head over around the corner and saying hi.
And
But
I
in
think,
my brain, I'm
and then Carly, you've got Justin who like saw you like mid tech day, you know, and that kind of thing. So I find this all just so interesting that we have all of these times where as women, and I mean think back, ladies, because it's been a while, but like when we were single and thinking about going out there, right? Like our version of peacocking is, you know, looking a certain way and we don't want to say anything stupid. And, you know, I see it right now with my preteen daughter and my teen son. This whole like your head is so full of like it has to go a certain way, like it has to fit into this mold. And yet we're seeing these very successful relationships that is not like these starts were not particularly like gorgeous. I
Well,
mean, you can look back on them fondly, but like,
yeah. Well, I think what it comes down to is because none of us, and Holly, you're not getting out of talking about you and yours either. But what it was because we weren't looking, we weren't sitting there too busy wondering, do you like me? We were in the headspace of, do I like this person? And so we were able to be more authentic in our approach. We were able to show who we were, whether we were trying or not. Like, I'm sure there were busy nights, Jesse, where, you know, you probably were running around. There might have even been sweat on your forehead at one point, you know,
Maybe.
like things that there could have been a day, Amber, where, you know, you were maybe a little bit snappier than others because there was a really heavy day. Like there were days where my husband definitely like I stunk. I sweat. I'm a sweater. And so I know that I raised my arm and he smell my glory as I built like sets. But like we got to be more authentic in the beginning stages because we weren't just sitting there like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to this because we weren't trying to make them mate with us, right? Like we weren't doing the elaborate dances and sounds. And
Well,
so it worked out better.
Dustin and I always say that the success of our relationship has been because we were friends first. We
100%.
learned all the weirdness. I got to see him as a manager, as a friend, as a boyfriend to someone else.
Yep.
I got to see every aspect of him before I even thought, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
100%. I didn't know that my
those
husband.
O's
Yeah.
explained everything.
Yeah.
Like done. Well, and Holly, you and yours, tell your story because it's
Well,
hilarious.
my sister, really my whole family hated the guy that I was with, like hated him with a fiery passion that burned within. So they were like looking for ways to get me involved with someone else. And it just happened one night that I'm hanging out with my sister in the smoking section of Denny's because classy. And in walks her ex-boyfriend with his manager from the car toys next door, like super late. They were finishing the job. And they come in to the smoking section of Denny's. And she was like, "Ooh, come sit with us." And I was like, "Oh, God, no." Because I was really I was home from college on break and I just didn't want to deal with boys. But here was this dude, this like redheaded dude who just talked a lot. And I was like, "Oh, well, this is quite charming." And then that was it. And I didn't talk to him again. And ever. I went back to college and like, but my sister, who is a devious little snake, just lied to both of us. She told him, because she was waitressing at a restaurant that he was frequenting, Bennigan's, like right by there. He was always there for lunch. And so he knew her. And she was like, "Hey, do you remember meeting my sister?" He's like, "No, not really." She's like, "Okay, well, she broke off her engagement for you. Like she liked you that much." First of all, I was never engaged. So that's a thing. Second of all, like, yeah, I might have thought he was cute, but like, it's not like it left a lasting impression because she asked me, "Hey, you remember that guy that we sat with at Denny's?" And I was like, "Kind of." And she's like, "He hasn't been able to stop talking about you. He asks about you all the time." And Chad and I are both vain and crazy enough that we were like, I think I have to meet this person.
Mhm.
Like other people would run in the other direction. We were like, wow, someone obsessed with me. This might be my person. Like just somehow.
That sounds right.
And then that was it. So for us, like I knew by the end of that week that I was like, that he was the dude, which I was so pissed off about. I was so mad about. First of all, I had a plan. I had a timeline. I was also seeing people back at college casually, but like I had like people that I was seeing, and now I had to like break it off with them because here's this guy showing up who's clearly going to be someone I marry. Ugh, that was not on my timeline. Pissed about it. Like, really?
Dare he ruin your plans?
Right? Like, come on, man. I had just turned 21. I was like, this is not. Ugh. But fortunately, he's great. And 20 years later and blah, blah, blah.
So great.
So my question for you three, too, is like, what was the moment that you were like, oh my God, I think this might be the dude?
Well, Dustin and I's first date, officially. He had texted me, I miss you, I want to hang out with you. And he's like, but I want to do it right. I want to take you out on a nice date. And so he took us to Shells and Sauce in Denver. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that place. If you haven't gone, go. It's so
Shells
yummy.
and Sauce?
Shells and Sauce. It's an Italian.
To the point. I like that.
So cute. Very quaint, low lighting, very romantic. And so we met there. We didn't even drive together because I don't think you do that anymore. I don't think you get picked up for dates. I don't know. But
right, because you don't want to get turned into a couch. Like we discussed that one.
Exactly. So we met there, and then we were enjoying dinner. Him and I both said our cheeks have never hurt so much because we were just smiling and laughing the whole time. By the end of the date, he was like, I don't want this to end. Can we go walk and get ice cream? And so we walked just like 2 blocks over, I think, to Licks. Another to the point name.
Wow. It's really
ice cream shop.
Yeah. Although, no, I gotta say, because Shells and Sauce, I'm like, that's a restaurant, but like Licks, that could be a lot of things.
Could be a couple things.
Like,
yeah. Yep. Liks. Licks.
Nope. That could be a whole bunch. Like the fact that it's an ice cream shop, I'm like, okay, well, that's one.
Makes sense.
I know. But we went there, and then we walked back to the car after getting ice cream, and it was just clear that we were both just stalling. We just didn't want things to end, but we had to go. I mean, there was a homeless man starting to walk down the street and holler at us because, again, he's a giant and draws attention. And
Very
so
Hallmark.
Yeah, this is the Hallmark part. Yeah, he's like, I don't want this night to end, but I need to see you soon. And he ended up giving me our first kiss and all that stuff. It was very cute. And yeah. So after that, I was like, why do my cheeks hurt so much? Why am I so happy? I've never felt like that. And I think it just had to do with the fact that I already knew who he was. Like I didn't have any more questions. Like he told me stuff he wouldn't even tell his girlfriends because we've been working together for so long,
Yep.
So it's like, I was just like, holy crap, sign me up.
Yep.
Love that.
I know all your good and your bad, and I'm really comfortable with both. So, which is so nice.
Yeah.
So Jessie, how about you? Where was the moment that you were like, this is it?
I've been sitting here thinking, and I don't know if there was a certain moment. I think that it was such a buildup because Ty and I, from the moment we went bowling, it was a great date. And I was like, I like this guy a lot. And I remember him just being like, why are you so nervous? And I was so nervous because I was like, how is a guy like this dating me at that time? Because I think that I had lost, in my previous relationship, I had lost my self-worth. And so it's like, how does this handsome, funny, crazy guy like me? And so I was very nervous. And I remember I was walking nervous, and he was just like, why are you so nervous? And I'm like, I don't know. I like you, and I don't know how to handle that, but haven't liked anyone for a while. But we went through a lot. When we first started dating, I had to get a restraining order on my ex.
My gosh.
And then this ex decided to try to get a restraining order on Ty. And just because he wanted to see me again. And it was I had already got one on him. So his only way to see me again was to go after Ty at that point. And so we ended up going to court, I think 2 or 3 times together. And Ty was riding it out with me, going through these court dates with me. And at the end of it, the judge told the ex, you wasted my time and theirs, get out my courtroom. And it was just a
Wow.
crazy, crazy situation. And for me to see it so new and to see Ty willing to go through all that BS, it was a lot of BS, go through that BS and stick by my side. And it didn't hinder or alter the relationship we were building at all at that time. So that was really cool to just see him kind of sticking through it kind of thing and going through the BS. And I don't know. I mean, after one of our court dates, we went to Chick-fil-A and the cash register lady was like, "You guys look like Ken and Barbie and you just look so happy together." And we truly were. And it was just like, he was always just, he was there. He was there and he was stable and he was sturdy and I actually liked him.
Gosh.
And I mean, it was a rocky road, but we did everything backwards, but we always stuck it through. And it came down to when he did propose, it was like, we have seen each other at our best. We've seen each other at our worst. We know what that looks like. Of course, I want to spend my life with you. I truly appreciate this relationship that we built over time. So,
You were
yeah.
worth all of it. Like, he knew that you were worth it, and that's really beautiful.
It's
Especially
a
in
lot.
those moments where we don't realize our own worth. To have someone that
Mhm.
we admire and respect showing us on the daily that we are worthy of their love, it is life-changing. So
Definitely.
I'm so glad that you got to have that with your person because you deserve
Thank you.
that. Every human does. Like, unless you're a complete and total piece of shit, which you guys aren't. So you deserve that.
Oh, thank you.
And Jesse, I'm really glad that you thank you for sharing that because I was going
Mhm.
to ask you guys if there were moments because it sounds like you were together for a while before you actually got married.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so I was going to ask about were there moments where you're like, oh man, I don't know, like this is a rocky patch or like this is a tough one because I think I have too many friends that are early on in relationships and if they're not 100% about the relationship the whole time, they're like, oh, I don't think it's going to work. Like it's
Yeah.
just I'm not 100%, so clearly this is not the right person.
Right.
And I do think that that's a big part of it of why you see a lot of relationships kind of crumble because people are like, oh nope, that was one thing. I'm out instead of like kind of sticking it through. So for you, like woof, like that's a crazy one for him to be like, nope, I'm here, I'm hanging
Yeah.
out. That's pretty impressive.
And it was a rocky road. I mean, we did have 2 breakups in there, and when we were about to have our daughter, we were broken up at that time, and we both made it very clear that we didn't wanna be together because we were having a baby, and, that we wanted to be together because we loved each other, and so eventually we ended up fixing what was broken and kept moving forward, and yeah. So it was rocky. It wasn't perfect, but it was something that got us closer together every single time. And we were broken up, but we never were done.
Never.
Never done.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive. Just like working through it and working for it. I think that's awesome.
You mean as far was there any kind of like oof moments? Is that what the question was? Well, I mean, Dustin had scoliosis really, really bad when we first got together. I mean, he was in pain. He had all this stuff going on. And it was one of the things that I knew going into a relationship with him that he wanted to fix. So um, he ended up getting surgery like a year and a half into our relationship. And he was out of work for 3 months. And I was like his sole caretaker. And that was kind of, I mean, that's a big surgery. I mean, they literally put like 12 implants and a giant rod down his back.
My
Um,
gosh.
he had to like walk same day. I mean, it's pretty traumatic, not even for, not for me, but for him, it's
Right.
huge, huge deal. So that was a big thing because he also ended up during that time deciding that he wanted to switch jobs and get out of dental and start his own business and follow his entrepreneur way, which I wanted to support and I do support still to this day. But those, I think, if you go into a relationship or if you are into to dating, then you can't be looking for all of the like red flags all the time, right? Because everyone has red flags. Geez, oh Pete, I have a million. Like if he ran away from the first red flag of me being stressed, we wouldn't be here. But yeah, I think there's some family dynamic stuff with him too. Like as far as like Jesse knows, like Dustin's not as close with his dad as like Ty is. So I've never actually personally met Dustin's father. And so I had to like commit to that relationship knowing there's issues there that either will be resolved or will just go away. But so yeah, just a couple things, but nothing, I don't think ever, it was never a deal breaker. He was always my person. Actually, from waking up from that surgery, he immediately, his mom was right there. And he like looked at her and he goes, "Where's my person?" And then like
Oh
turned and found me and he goes, "Person." And then his mom went, "Oh, okay." Like she had a moment. She goes, "Oh,
my
okay."
gosh.
Yeah. So that was we hadn't gotten married yet at that point. So it was pretty sweet.
Oh,
That's sweet.
his most vulnerable, his most
Right?
uncensored, uninhibited moment. He was like,
Right?
"Yeah, cool, mom, but like, where's my
Yeah.
lady? Like,
Yeah.
where's?"
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I really like what you said, Amber, about we all have red flags
Mhm.
Hmm.
and that it's somehow looking past some of those. I guess maybe like we have to look at like the hue of red in the
Right.
flag. Like
Right. Right. Like allow orange. Right. Once it gets to red, maybe check in.
yeah, like
Oh,
let's stay away from the oops, I did turn my last date into a couch, but we can
Right.
also, recognize that there are some that we're like, yeah, I have those flaws too. What would you say is your advice that you would give to people out in the dating world? And it's not just young people out in the dating world because, like, I mean, there's everybody, all ages right now, who are trying to
Mhm.
figure this out.
That's a really good question. I think kind of piggybacking off of what Amber said with everybody having red flags. I think a lot of people, especially nowadays and our parents' generation and a few before that as well, everybody is so quick to give up and everybody is so quick to run. And for me and Ty, we've both said it many times, like when we get married, that's it for us. And there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. And you have to accept that and figure out how to work through it and not just throw in the towel. Like, oh, you messed up. I'm done. Sorry. If that love is truly strong and I mean, there's different situations where like I'm not talking abuse or anything like that. That's a whole nother level. But there's a certain point where you've got to work through things and stick it out and see where it can go because life gets very, very sticky in the middle. I mean, you're raising kids, you have a house, you have a job, everything that's sticky in the middle. And that's going to a lot of times cause people to run right away. And it's worth it to try to see it through and get through the harder times too. So
I love that. And I appreciate you making the caveat about different situations and like what that looks like in there.
mhm.
mm,
Because yeah, sticking around and really working for it is great. Again, it's the the shade of red that you're
The
looking
mhm.
shade of
at and
red.
those flags.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yes. Yeah.
for
There's
sure.
Mhm.
always this special exception to what I'm saying. Just the smaller things. Try to
Mhm.
figure it
Yeah.
out.
What I always tell my friends when they start dating people is if I hear the words, "When it's good, but when it's bad," come out of your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
we're all done now.
Yeah.
We're all done. Because no, like when we're
Mhm.
justifying, when we're to the point where we're like, but man, I'm just holding out for those 15 minutes a week where we're really nice to each other. No, we're all done. We're all
Mm-hmm.
done now. So let's go pack up your stuff. I'll break up with them for you. We're moving on.
It's over. We
Yeah.
had one group of friends told us once upon a time when you have more good years than bad, that's when it's good because if you're looking at 20 years together and you've got 3 bad years, that's one thing, but if you have, I mean, 15 bad years out of those 20,
Oh, yeah.
What are
it
you doing?
shouldn't have happened. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good way to
Absolutely.
look at that. I like that. Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, I think it kind of goes back to what you were saying, Holly, earlier with our teen girls or preteen girls and overthinking yourself or not knowing your worth. Go into a date or accept a date knowing that you're accepting it for who you are, and you're going to be yourself in that date, and you're not going to, peacock too much. Just be yourself. And also avoid social media, in my opinion. Like, I think that I've seen so many relationships, like, that is the hill that they die on, is social media, because it just doesn't go well, or there's too much jealousy or whatever it is. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people, especially when you used to be able to see the likes on other photos. Like, if you could, on Instagram, you could scroll through and you could see so-and-so was liking so-and-so's photo. So I had 3 girlfriends that were like, I saw so-and-so was liking this photo. And it's like, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. You're not married. And it's a model. But I don't know, have confidence with social media if you're going to do it, if you're going to be on it, or with Tinder or whatever.
I'm
But
so old. Like, this was not a thing, like, when we were dating. Like, cell phones still were had just, I got my first cell phone at 21. So, and that was a gift from Chad, because he, could not keep paying the phone bill to talk to me in Missouri. From his, the long distance was too much. So that's so crazy to me to even think about, liking somebody's picture being the downfall of a relationship.
No, because I knew that it was a super heavy one, but I just looked it up again, and the top 3 reasons cited for divorce in 2024 in the United States was financial issue, infidelity, and social media.
it's wild.
Yep.
Yep.
According to research and legal experts, social media is and it will continue to be increasingly cited as a contributing factor to divorce. Number 3, 75% of divorces also included social media examples or messages or something to
Doesn't
why.
that just kind of go in with cheating or infidelity then, essentially?
100%.
And I guess
So
that's
2
where I'm
and 3 are
confused.
2 and
Yeah,
3
like,
are tied.
If you're scrolling through and you like a model, I mean, I guess I don't see the issue with that. To me, I'm like,
No.
I can look at the menu all I want. I'm just not ordering. I don't
Right.
Exactly.
understand.
Right.
I'm not
Yeah.
dead.
It's just
it's not like you
strip
get married
clubs.
and then suddenly your vagina stops working. That's not a thing.
Yeah, I can't
oh,
see anymore. No, Ty and I will literally check out people together. Like, somebody walks
Yes.
by with a nice butt. It's like, did you see her butt?
Yes.
Well, that was a good looking guy. We'll check people out
Yes.
together. And we're not swingers. We're
No.
not swingers.
No. Right. No.
But we
Same.
will check people out together.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is if you can say oh yeah, I definitely find these people attractive, and I choose to come home to you. I
Right.
choose to make sure that I am giving myself to you. Even while I still find all of these people attractive. Now, if messages are going out hey, gorgeous, really, you got a nice butt over Instagram, we have a problem.
Yes.
Then, yeah.
Right.
Then you're a little bit too Adam Levine for what
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
acceptable. I know it's so hard right now. I used to love him. I've seen Maroon 5 in concert so many times. I used to love him. I didn't know he was a super tool. And now I struggle.
Yeah. He's a total piece of shit. And I didn't know that either. I really liked him, but you know what? Not even just the cheating stuff. There's lots of stuff now that he's just kind of a tool bag. But no, I think it's notice how all 4 of us are no, we're very comfortable in our relationship. And we're all yeah, we check people out together. I think it's when you catch them, when you get to the point, if you get to the point where you catch them checking someone out
Mhm.
and then they hide it, because then it's not harmless anymore. It's not innocent anymore. They feel like they are doing something wrong. You caught them doing something wrong, and now there's an issue, right?
Mhm.
And so I think it's just that full-blown transparency, honesty all the way through. I have TV boyfriends all the time. We were watching The Rookie, which is a terrible show. The Rookie is terrible. It's awful. Did you know that cops that have been there for 3 days are in apartment shootouts? Oh wait, that doesn't happen? Weird.
Yeah, but that's
it's
Nathan Fillion, so
yeah, no, it's such a trash show, but I love it. But one of the one of the actors on there is super hot. He's Bradford or something. So I just started calling him Officer Zaddy, because that is what he is. And my husband and I, he just dealt with it the whole time. He'd be yeah, Bradford, and I would go, who? And he'd go, okay, Officer Zaddy. Like, yeah, he is doing great this episode. Like, we have a great time with that. And like, I'm fine with my husband watching porn. I'm fine with my husband liking hot chicks on Instagram. Because here's the thing. She doesn't like you. She doesn't know you. You are helping her be successful and have money. Yeah, like you're not real. Just like if he was like, babe, me and my boys are going to the strip club. Great. Have a great time.
Cool.
Like
have fun.
Help those ladies pay all of their bills. Tell them how beautiful they are. Because here's the thing. She didn't give a fuck about you. She didn't like you. She doesn't care. Like that kind of stuff
I feel
will
the
never bother
exact
me.
same way. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm fine with this. I mean, at the end of the day, I know where you're going to be tonight, and
Yeah.
it's going to be next to me. So,
But if I found out he was like talking to some hot chick at a bar who really just thought he was a nice guy, I'm mad now. Because she does like you, and nobody's allowed to like you, and they're not allowed to laugh at your dumb
didn't
jokes.
throw your drink in her face? What do you
Right.
mean?
Right. What do you
it's
mean?
that
What do you mean?
emotional versus physical. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, as soon as it becomes emotional, then there's what's happening. But if it's just like, oh, I'm looking at a pretty girl or going to a strip club or
Yeah.
whatever it could be, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Like,
I'll
we've
pick you up if you need me to.
Absolutely. I'll DD.
My God. Yeah.
Well, and I think because I've made it so easy for him, my husband will never go. He's never been to a strip club. He's like, I'm just not interested, babe. Like, I'm not interested. And it's like, oh, okay. But like, he looks at hot chicks on Instagram all the time on his phone. Because when you like hit his search bar, it's just like huge boobies. And I'm like, you do realize that that's an algorithm, right? And he's like, no, no,
That's
not.
funny.
I love it though. Good for him. Good for him. Like, he deserves those things. He's a good man. I love boobs. We should all see beautiful boobies as much as we want to.
Yeah, Chad doesn't do any of that. I think if he ever went to a strip club, he'd just try to sell everybody windows. Like he had like
Or he'd find the nicest one and be like, you need a new job. Do you want a career path?
he totally
Yes.
would. He'd be like, I really like you've got a positive attitude. I feel like oh God. Like I can't.
Here's cinnamon.
That would 100% be Chad. Like 100%. So I know, I mean, I don't ever really understand Chad's like interest. Like I don't really get it. When we were first together, the man had like a 4-foot, like 4x4 poster of Shania Twain on his wall.
Okay,
It was
let's
huge.
go, girls.
He's gonna kill me for putting this out. He had Amber's face. She's like, he's gonna kill you. It was like this massive poster of Shania Twain in his
Oh
room.
my goodness.
And so like when I'd go over there and we're having, our underwater basket weaving moments and like
Right.
I
Bible
felt like I was
reading.
just being watched by Shania.
She was
full-size.
rooting you on.
I
the
was
whole
very
Whole time.
I felt like there were more women in the room is really what I felt like. So when we decided to move in together, like he did not want to get rid of this poster. And I was like, listen, you don't have to get rid of it, but it can't be in our room. Not because I'm feeling threatened by Shania Twain, although who wouldn't be threatened by Shania Twain? She's like nearly 70. She's gorgeous.
She's
That's not the point.
flawless.
The point is I just didn't like being looked at. Like it's why I don't understand how people can have like pictures of Jesus in their bedroom. Like I'm just like, why? It's stop. It's so uncomfortable.
It's
You
looking at
look
me.
Like no, like
His eyes are following me
everywhere. So I know like Shania Twain is like fully like that was Chad's gal for sure, and then Mandy Moore,
She's
90s Mandy Moore.
common. I've heard her for a lot of hall passes.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard her for quite a few, like even just guy friends. Like Jennifer Aniston and Mandy Moore are like the two top ones. And I don't know I think with Mandy Moore, it's the fact that she plays innocent so well, but you're like,
Yeah.
you're spicy. And I know it and I like it.
Does Justin have a hall pass person?
He's such a gentleman. He always does the whole like, I don't know, babe. Like he hasn't thought about it. But Jennifer Aniston is like in his top. Whereas like I'll riddle mine off all the time. I'll be like, Bill Murray, love Bill Murray. I want to do that guy. Like
Seriously?
when I was pregnant
Bill
with my
Murray?
daughter.
Oh,
yes.
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So I got a thing for like old guys. I'm not gonna lie. And the guy from my best friend's wedding,
Dermot Mulrooney.
yeah, that guy. Oh, he's so delicious, and he's gotten more delicious as he's gotten older. And then the cop guy from Miss Congeniality.
Yeah.
Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, but like nowadays, Benjamin Pratt, like he was okay then, but like nowadays, top notch. And I tell my husband these all the time, all the time. He deals with it. So
yeah, I don't know that Justin could really be threatened by any of your hall passes. So I'm like,
they're so cute.
I feel like I've just learned a lot about you, Carly.
It's hard. It's hard when all of your hall passes almost have a cane.
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, I would be fine being the grieving widow for any of those men.
Sign me up for Bill Murray. I get that one.
Yeah, like I love Bill Murray. When I was pregnant with my daughter, every night when I'm pregnant, I have like crazy dreams, like very vivid. Most women do. But it was literally every night I was in a relationship with Bill Murray. And so like some nights we were like smutting it. Other nights we were like reading newspapers together in our kitchen. Like I had a full-blown love affair during the 10 months that I was pregnant with my daughter. So ever since then, I'm like, yeah, me and Bill Murray, we've got a thing. Like we've got a thing.
It's serious.
Yeah, it's like super serious. Yeah, there was one day we made crab cakes together. I don't even like crab cakes, but that was the whole dream. Just me and Bill
making some crab cakes.
Yeah,
I don't have words. It's like a real visual, but I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Well, I mean, like, I'm going to stay married to my husband now, but if Bill Murray was like, hey, Carly, remember those crab cakes? I'm going to blush, because I do.
My God.
Because I do.
Does Dustin have a hall pass that you're like allowed to reveal?
He is so out of touch with anyone these days. Like it's probably Jennifer Aniston, truly. Like if I'm being honest, maybe Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
Margot Robbie, Jennifer Aniston would probably be it.
Who's yours? And you can't say Bill Murray because he's taken.
Yeah, he's mine. I'll fight you for him. Just kidding. I won't.
No, I understand. You have crab cakes. It's important. My hall pass. I don't know. I'm so busy. I have no idea.
A nap. My hall pass is a nap and 3 days.
I actually got to take one today. Do you understand what that was like? A nap?
Oh my God. That's beautiful. The nap is your hall pass. I think that's fair.
I'll take it.
That's totally fair. Jesse, what about Ty? Who's his hall pass?
I'm not really sure who his hall pass would be. I know we had this conversation like, gosh, I want to say 2 weeks ago or something. So we were talking about like when we were younger, all the guys had like a crush on Hillary Duff and stuff and all that. But I can't remember. And it was for back then. It wasn't for now. Mm-hmm. I know that tattoos are a thing for him. And so is there any like celebs that are tattooed? I don't know. I
don't even know.
There's quite a few.
Probably like Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider or something.
I mean, yeah. We're going to go Shania.
Perfect.
I hear Shania a lot, so we're just going to go with Shania. But no, I don't know who his hall pass would be. And
that's so funny. What about yours?
I always, and just as cute, like not even hall pass with it, but Owen Wilson, crooked nose guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he's cute.
I always thought he was the cutest. Like I was like, he is so cute. I love the crooked nose. And he's super short. I think he's like 5'10" or something. Like,
whoa, really?
Whoa.
He's little. He's short. And so like I was like, I'm not a fan of short guys. I mean, my husband's 6'5". But the little crooked nose, I always found it the cutest thing ever. And it's not even like I want to get
you
with
do
that.
Have
it's
a
just
thing.
Cute.
She has a thing for like weird, ugly things. Like her dog.
I do.
I love Chip. Chip is my favorite, but he is special. Okay. Special. He's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's 5'11". I thought he was taller.
Oh no, he's like super short.
Oh my God.
Okay. You know what?
Justin, if you're listening to this, honey, 5'10" is the perfect size. Okay. 5'10" is the perfect height. You are perfect. I am 5'4"-ish. Not really. I'm 5'3". And you are a beautiful tower that I lean on when I am weary. Like this is, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's unfair.
It's just so funny.
Guys are so tall.
It's just so funny. You guys are like,
tall.
Like so short, like the national average. Like they are so small. Like they're tiny. Like how do you even do that? Like you got to strap them in the extra harness in the car seat. It's crazy.
5'2". So why am I even? Oh no.
I'm 5'6", and so to me, like I don't know. It's
I get
closer
it.
to me then.
It's okay. It was just so funny. It was so funny. Like the whole
that
time.
tells
I
you
love
how
that.
tall those guys are. If they're like,
Yeah.
only 5'11", I was so short. I'm like,
That's like,
We're so used to being around giants now. It's like, oh,
Right.
well, even tall guys look
Tall
small
guys.
around our husbands because
yeah.
of
Yeah.
their
Chad's 6'2", and standing next to your guys, it's like,
armpit.
oh,
I think there's a picture
precious.
of the three of them together, one brother on each side, and
Yeah. It's so
just-
precious.
they make everyone look short, even if they're not.
Ladies, thank you so much for coming on today and kind of sharing your just wild love stories. It's always nice to hear, and all of the just wackadoo things going on in the universe, that there's still some really
Normalcy.
nice things, that go on.
If we call it normal.
Normally. And for all of our dear friends and listeners who are still trying to figure out how they're going to meet their person, because I know I talked to a bunch of you guys over the phone and text, and the questions are like, I don't know if I'm ever going to find the person. I don't know. It's usually when you're not looking that they show up. So,
100%.
Yep.
so thanks, guys.
Thank
Just a
you.
reminder to everybody, because I forgot to do this last time, so I guess I'll just back up a little bit. No matter what's going on, we're all fine. All right, if you guys haven't already, come visit us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I know I'm missing one on there. If you can, we would love if you rate and review the show. That helps us immensely. Share with a friend. And of course, we would love to hear your thoughts. So if you met somebody in a fun and interesting way, we would love to hear all about it. So you can send us an email. You can post on our Facebook. We just want to hear from you. All right, guys, we hope you have a great week. We love you.
Bye.